en nie daar is jy soms klein mate net soos jy daar is. Vertel ons hoe jy lekker leer. Show us, teach us, bring it all together. Penny, our friend here at PNA.
Hello and welcome to Show Me How. I'm Gloria Bastos. Today we're going back to a craft that is both regal and elegant. Egg art has been around for ages and was made famous by Fabergé. Continues to be a delicate and classical craft that can be embellished either in a traditional design or using a more contemporary twist. Erica, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
I know you've got so much knowledge and expertise, and I'm really grateful that you're willing to share it with us. How did you get into egg art? It is so unusual.
Gloria, I saw it once in a magazine and I was absolutely amazed at what can be done with eggs.
Yes.
I didn't believe it when I saw it. I drove down to Cape Town to meet the lady that actually made them.
Yes.
And about 3 weeks later I was hooked. I bought the business from her, and from there it's just gone.
Now, what kind of eggs are used in egg art?
We mainly use ostrich eggs because they're readily available in South Africa,
yes.
but overseas the goose eggs are more popular.
Okay.
We do anything, any egg we can do.
Is that so?
What we have here is the quail egg, the duck, or the goose.
These tiny little ones are the quail ones?
Quail eggs, yes.
Lovely.
The goose eggs are these ones, and then the ostrich.
Okay.
Except for the ostrich, the others are all imported.
But they're so delicate. I mean, if I look at them, and I think most of them open and are hinged. Look at that. I mean, to go from such a fragile and delicate egg, raw egg, if I can put it that way, the egg shell, and then transforming it into this. And these are quite sturdy, although they're very, very delicate, they are sturdy.
Yes, the ostrich eggs are.
Yes.
They're very forgiving, so easy to work with. We don't recommend starting with the smaller ones.
No. Where do we begin to go from this to that?
Right, we start with a whole ostrich egg. Now, when you buy a kit, the egg's already been cut, so you don't need to know the power tools and all of that. So this is what it looks like when it's done, or when it's cut. We've put
so it's already
on.
hinged and everything when you get it in your kit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is. From there, you're going to have to clean it up, but inside as well as outside. The hinge area needs to be cleaned up and sanded and make it to look pretty.
Okay.
And then we're going to fill the hole with cement. It's a epoxy cement.
Okay.
That it's like a putty, and you just knead it until.
All right, just so that we have a nice smooth surface. Lovely. I believe you've got one prepared.
I do.
Okay. Excellent.
Right. This is what it looks like when it's done.
Okay. So you've sealed the hole up nicely. And what have you done inside?
Also clean it out inside with water and chlorine, or even just water will be fine.
Okay.
We also reinforced the hinge with some rapid epoxy.
Okay.
And we filled the hole and sanded it smooth on the outside.
Lovely.
And from there it's ready to paint.
To paint, okay. And now, as far as paint goes, we're going to paint on this one?
Yes, that's right.
As far as paint goes, what range of colours do we get?
You can use, it's endless. You can use any basically water-based paint, or we use water-based paint.
Okay.
We've got a pearl finish paint that we use now, and you get all the different inks to mix your own shade and colour.
I love these colours here as well. They're so soft and so in. But that's the nice thing with crafts, is you can basically take the ideas, change your designs to the colours to suit your own home. Lovely. Are you going to get started?
Yeah. We use a sponge to paint with. It doesn't make streaks, so I'm just going to dab it on.
And how long does this paint take to dry?
Fairly quickly, touch dry, 15 minutes.
Really?
20 minutes.
That fast, eh?
Yeah. The drier your sponge is, the less bubbles it will make.
Okay. So any water-based pearl effect paint that you'll find in the craft shops?
Doesn't have to be pearl. If we just use pearl because it's a lot more elegant.
Yes,
but,
true.
Could be anything.
And then how many coats would you do?
The darker paints you can do 2 coats.
Okay.
But normally about 3 to 4 coats.
Okay. And you only paint the outside of the egg?
We also paint the edge on the inside here.
Okay.
Because when you do the lining, you don't want to see any white pieces sticking out.
Okay.
At this edge as well.
I'm going to rush you because I know we have so much to get through that you said to me, takes something like 4 days normally to make an egg
to finish
like
one,
that.
Yeah.
So we're going to rush. Everybody gets the idea that we can just paint and move on. Right. So let's take one that you've already done. I'm so happy that you prepared everything beautifully in stages for us.
Right.
Where to from here?
This, once it's painted, we're going to do the inside first. We want it's hard to decorate or finish inside when it's decorated on the outside.
Fair enough.
We have a chain that we glued onto the shell.
Okay.
This will keep, I just want to put it like that. We'll keep the lid open.
Okay,
so it doesn't fall backwards.
Yes, okay.
Right.
In this case, you're leaving it wide open because we still have to line this half.
Yes, I'm going to show you how to do the lining.
Okay.
Just have a nice
Now,
punch.
I suppose you could use contrasting colours as well. You don't have to use the same colour inside as you have outside. I think you've done that in this instance, haven't you? Oh, you've also gone for blue,
Yeah.
but you could go for cream, for example.
Yeah, you can do different colours. We try and stick to the same shade, but it's just a personal preference. It's
Okay.
not a,
Do you find that it's more elegant that way if you keep to the same shade inside?
no, not really.
Okay.
There's some really nice ones. It's really outrageous colours as well.
Oh, really?
So
Oh, no.
it all depends on what you like.
I'm also a little bit more conservative. I prefer the more sort of conservative colours rather than the outrageous ones. But now with the lining, obviously you're going to have a sewing machine, or can you hand stitch it as well?
You can hand stitch it. It takes a bit longer, but
Okay. So you don't have to have a sewing machine, because a lot of people aren't au fait with sewing machines and that they're not comfortable with them. So Erica, do you need a sewing machine to stitch this, or can you hand stitch it?
you can hand stitch it, absolutely. The stitching is just to gather it in,
Okay.
to get the fluffy effect. That's why we need to start with a big piece of material.
Excellent.
You'll stitch 2 lines, evenly
And
apart.
gather it.
Yes, and pull it in. It just keeps it from fraying too much.
Okay.
Right.
All right,
Okay.
and then when you glue it, are you actually going to fold your seams in, or are you leaving them out?
We leave them out. Any excess we'll cut off with a fine tip scissors
Okay,
afterwards.
because if I'm correct, you then glue the braiding over to give it a nice neat edge, is that right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. So although it's a very delicate craft, it is quite forgiving because you've got room for a little bit of error and you can cover it up.
You can always cover it up.
That's the nice thing with crafts and being creative, is that there's no exact right and wrong way
no
of
one
doing
knows.
it. Yeah, true, no one knows. Lovely.
We'll do short sections at a time.
Okay.
Just, you don't want to get any glue on the material itself.
Yes. While you do that, tell me what are the uses of these eggs? Are they purely ornamental?
No, not really. Most people won't use it, but it's a jewelry box. If you're going to be using it for a jewelry box, you obviously need a bit less lining inside,
Okay.
but it's more ornamental.
Yes. You know, a lovely idea would be if a guy's really romantic, and there's not too many romantic guys, to actually put an engagement ring in here when you ask the special girl to marry you.
It's a lovely idea, but I don't think I'll think of it.
Well, most guys aren't romantic. Us girls will dream about that, but they do it in their own manner.
Right.
Right, okay, so we go right around and we
Yeah.
glue the edge of the lining. So in the end, we get this sort of effect with still a rough edge as such.
Yes. Well, we've cut this off already, so as long as it doesn't stick past the edge, then
Okay.
you're fine.
And
If it
then our
does-
next step would be to put the braid on.
Yes.
Okay, maybe we must start working on that.
Okay.
Okay,
We'll start in the front, because when you open the egg, you don't see the front. Where
yes.
you
So you don't want the
bring
join
them
of the
together.
seam in the back here where you see it straight away.
get them out.
I see you use toothpicks a lot. And what kind of glue are you using there, Erica?
This is E6000.
What is
it's-
that?
It's an industrial strength
Okay.
glue.
Does it dry clear?
It does. It
Okay.
does dry clear. It doesn't go hard, so it's almost like a silicone type
Okay.
consistency,
Okay,
but it doesn't come off. So all the jewels on the outside, we also do that.
lovely.
Okay, so
And the toothpick is just a nice simple way of applying it.
quick and easy.
So as you said before, we do little sections at a time, just to make sure we accommodate the curve and we get it nice and neat.
Right.
And it's right on the edge there. Yeah, I see it's covering up the mess underneath.
Okay. Now, if it doesn't stick immediately, you can use pegs.
Clothes pegs.
Just hold it in place
Okay.
for 5 minutes or so is enough.
And then
Take the
it
pegs
will
off.
hold. Okay.
This will go all the way around, and
Once we've done that, is there anything else we need to do to the inside of the egg?
only the chain needs to be connected again.
Okay.
You just bend the link open and reattach it.
Sure.
Then then we're done inside.
Fantastic. So that's actually quite simple, getting it done here. Very time consuming, I think, but quite simple.
Yeah.
Now, you're going to show us how to do the outside.
That's correct.
Fantastic. All right, let's get another one that you've already started on. Do you want to take that one out? Great. Put it on this one here, if you don't mind. Thanks. Okay. I see that you've actually started with the braiding.
That's right. We always start with it's a cord basically, not a braid. That once you put two together, we're trying to close that gap.
Okay.
So you'll glue the first one on the top half of the egg, and then the second one right against it, even though it's not exactly on the edge.
Yes.
Just to close that gap, you don't want to see
to give you a lovely neat trim
right.
and finish. Okay.
Then what we've done in this case, we only have the one cord.
One row of cord.
One row of cord.
Okay.
And then we'll do the jewels. We'll also start in front.
Okay. Now this is also the kind of embellishment that you would find in a haberdashery store. Am I right?
It's this one is Swarovski specifically.
Okay. That's where you get the sparkle from. It's the crystals that are actually sparkling.
Yes.
And I think in this case we're not doing what Fabergé used to do with real diamonds and gold and all of that.
No.
We're using synthetic. We want to get there, but okay. So again, we're applying it with a little toothpick, and it's a silicone type glue.
You really need only a thin line of glue there. So
okay.
Also, just need to hold it in place for a few seconds. It will stay there.
That's ideal, because imagine if you had to wait hours and hours for this glue to dry, you'd never finish. So you're using one row at the top, and I see in our finished item here you've done 2 rows of Swarovski crystals at the bottom.
That's right. It's all your choice. Those 2 eggs over there have 2 rows, top and bottom.
Okay.
We normally alternate the crystals with cords or braids, and
it really
it's just a personal preference.
And the crystals come in different colors as well.
They come in all the
Standard
precious stone
colors.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. So that you can choose something that actually matches your own design. And I see that you've put them on fancy stands. Those stands are also available ready-made, aren't they?
Yes, we import most of them.
Mm-hmm.
A few of them are made here, but they're quite hard to get.
Yes. Okay. So once we've done the embellishments with the chain and with the Swarovski crystals, what would be our next step?
For this egg, we're doing the flowers on the front.
Okay.
So
you've got that one ready as well. Okay. So this one has got the flowers on. Now, what kind of flowers are these?
These are normal paper flowers. You can buy them. Any craft shop sells them. They're beautiful, different colors.
I think the scrapbookers use them as well, don't they?
Yeah, mostly.
Okay, fantastic.
Right.
So we put the flowers as many or as few as we like, and we embellish it in whichever way we like. Now, in this particular case, you've put something really spectacular at the top there.
Right.
What is that?
This is a smaller Swarovski top. We've got a bigger one today for this one.
Okay.
There's filigree that we put underneath, but this top is quite big, so I'm not going to
So we don't really need it.
No.
And do we apply it again with the glue?
The same glue. We glue everything with this. So
Fantastic.
you don't have to switch.
So I imagine that we would require a lot of tools, but it's actually not so.
No, once the egg's cut, you don't really need much else.
Yes. Tell me, how are we going to make this beautiful and delicate piece of jewelry?
Right, this is made from a quail egg.
Yes.
We start with the raw egg. We fill it with something like liquid glass or Pratley glue.
Yes.
Put a toothpick in. It's going to stay there. You leave it there, but it's handy to hold on to when we start painting.
Okay, you know, when we've been working with the eggs up until now, I imagined that this would be hollow. And so I thought this would be incredibly fragile, but it's an excellent idea. Fill it up, and then it's actually quite hard.
Yeah, it's very strong once you fold it. I don't think it will last if you don't put something inside.
Absolutely, and the toothpick idea is great. Because then, when you finished, you just cut it off.
Yes, cut it off.
Fantastic.
Stays in there. From there, you this one. We painted this one with a pearl paint.
Okay, again, just tell me about the paint. It's a
pearl. We use the pearl paint, but
Yes.
any water-based acrylic paint will work.
So any craft
any
paint,
craft
water-based
paint will
craft
work,
paint.
yes.
And if you like the pearly effect, then you buy one with a pearly effect.
We do the pearl.
Simple
yes.
enough.
All right.
Okay.
Once it's painted, we painted that other half with
yes.
the lilac colour.
Yes, because I see that in this one, the bottom half is lilac and the top half is white, and you've got the most delicate little flowers in there.
If you look at the design, these eggs are so small that you don't need a marker. You just use a pencil and just mark it by hand. So it's really easy to get the lines straight.
All right, perfect. And then, once you've marked out your design and all of that,
from this one, we're going to glue the Swarovski
crystal
again.
Chain.
This one, yeah. Here, I've cut them in pieces already.
Okay.
And just want to show you. We'll do the transfer afterwards.
Okay, the transfer of the little flowers.
Yes.
So what kind of transfer is that?
It's also, I think they call it a water transfer, so you soak it in water until it comes off the paper.
Okay.
And then it's really thin, it's paper thin. If you rub it, it's gone.
You need really good eyesight and good coordination to do this.
Maybe.
Okay, excellent. I know that if I'm going to do this, I'm going to need to have my glasses on all the time. Right.
How to do this.
Again, we're using that same silicone-based glue that you were talking about earlier.
Yes.
Okay. So you follow your lines, basically, the lines that you would have drawn earlier to do the design.
Yes. So any unevenness in the painting, you cover with a Swarovski.
Oh, that's a good idea. So you don't have to be very, very precise, because you painted with a sponge, didn't you?
Again, yeah.
Yeah, so that doesn't give you those very crisp, clean lines. Now, the crystals, again, you're going to embellish them with whatever appeals to you. So if you like outrageous colors and outrageous designs, then that's what you're going to go for. You've gone for a very delicate little chain, which is beautiful. Now, do you hang this one then onto a larger chain to go around your neck?
Yes, we just did this for the demonstration of it, but you can make it a lot longer as well.
Okay. Lovely. Now the
press it out.
And it dries quick, you said.
Yeah, it's already stuck, so.
And you go right around and you do that design right around. What other, I see you've brought us a variety of different designs here. Where do you get your inspiration for the different designs?
There are just so many examples out there that the ideas are endless.
But when you say there's so many examples, it's not a craft that is commonly found in South Africa.
No, not in South Africa, but I mean the internet it's all over the internet. So if you just look up decorated eggs, you'll find all sorts of interesting things.
And then you use that as your inspiration.
Yes.
I think one of the things we all have to be very careful with design is not to copy because of copyright. But you can always get inspiration and personalize it and make it into something that is uniquely yours by changing colors, etc. Now the pearly effects on these paints, do you find them in a lot of different colors or not really?
No, it comes in pearl, but we
pearl white.
Pearl white, and then we mix it with ink. So artist's ink to get the different colors.
Okay, because I haven't seen such a huge range of colors out there, but that's a very clever way of doing it. Now, if you said we use something like a Pratley Glow inside.
Yes.
If I don't know how to use Pratley Glow, I think you mix two parts.
Two parts. It's a liquid. If you heat it up a bit, it will be a lot runnier.
Okay.
So you can drip it in if the hole's big enough, or use a syringe to
fill
squirt it in there. Yeah.
Okay. What about silicone? Would you use silicone to fill an egg like this?
No, the egg's too fragile. You won't be able to get it in there.
Okay. So it's got to be something that will flow easily.
Yes.
And the egg comes with the hole already in it. Obviously, that's how they drain the contents out.
Egg has been blown, so it's cleaned out. There's nothing in there.
Okay. Perfect. I think we're coming to the end of our chain, and I'm dying to see how you're going to do the transfer of these tiny, tiny, tiny little flowers. Are these the same sort of transfers that you would use for ceramic?
No.
Not?
No.
So this is something different. And found in the craft shops?
I import those. I haven't found them here, so I'm not sure if you can find them.
Look, I think that is one of the things that we need to remember, is that this is a very specialized craft, and therefore not everything is readily available in the stores. And I think our viewers need to know that, otherwise they're going to be disappointed. But it can all be ordered, and most stores will keep it. It is a new craft.
Right.
I see that you... Yeah, carry on.
Move over to the transfers.
Yes, I see that you're soaking them.
Just put them in water. It takes a few seconds really to come off.
Okay. So what are you doing? You're taking the backing off?
Yes, it's a paper backing.
Okay.
You just need to move it a bit.
They are so tiny and so delicate.
And we're using the toothpick again.
Okay.
Handy. Put it on there.
And it basically sticks by itself.
Yeah, it's water, so it will stick, and then when it dries, it stays there.
Okay. And you would repeat that step right around. So one little flower in each of these segments.
That's right. If you're lucky, this one might be loose already.
Now, if you don't have these transfers, you could either use those little paper flowers that you showed us earlier on the carriage, or I suppose you could use some sort of decoupage technique to transfer a design onto here.
This size, I think, just paint it on.
That's true. You can also just paint it on. Not with your sponge, but with a tiny, tiny little brush.
Yeah.
You can. So really, again, it's about personalizing the design to suit your own taste and to suit what you have available at the time. Now, tell me about finishing it off, because once we've put the chain right around and we've done our transfers.
Right. The ones we've done there, we've also put a row of a chain or a cord right next to the Swarovski string.
Have you done that? Yeah.
That we've done it there.
Wow! But it is so delicate that it's. I see it.
After that, I'm just gonna hold it. I'll cut this one off.
Okay.
A bit closer.
Perfect. And then you apply the top and the bottom.
Yeah, we've got an up eye here, and that's the up eye.
Okay, and that's like a little cap.
The chain is going to be connected.
So you loop your chain in there to give you the length that you want.
Yes.
Okay.
Join it up with a jump ring.
Okay.
See there.
And then at the bottom you would embellish it with a little tassel, a little pearl, anything that really appeals to you.
Anything that hangs. Yeah.
You know, once again, you've shown us what looks to be very, very complicated is actually less so than we thought, and simpler, but obviously very time-consuming, very delicate work.
There we go.
Fantastic.
And then just connect the chain with a jump ring. So
it's really, really lovely, and I'm so pleased that you came through and you showed us. I think many of us for us, it's a brand new craft, so well done.
PNA. Show Me How was proudly coloured by PNA, suppliers of stationery, books, arts and crafts. PNA, colour your world. PNA. Products available in-store at PNA. Visit www.pna.co.za for further information. PNA.